Hi guys, in today's video I have got this Class 47 to show you. It's got an issue, but I'll show you that in a second. Basically, chaps sent me this train that's broken, asked me if I can fix it, and I'm going to show you what to do with it. It looks fairly straightforward, and I believe it's basically a bogie post is what it's called, and this is the pull type chassis. So I think what we should do before it just like falls apart, we'll get it over to the bench and we'll have a better look at it. So here we go. This is the Class 47 Firefly. It's actually in the swallow livery. It's really quite pretty. I quite like this. So we're just going to start off just by removing our broken bogie. And the next thing, because the shell's just like falling off, the shells would normally lift up one side and the other side, just pulling up and out, and it would just sort of slide off the top. So I'm going to put this to one side, and then we're left with the chassis here. The only thing really I think that I need to do with the chassis at the moment, because we need to test this when we fix the bogie, this just needs removing so we can put the new bogie back into the loco. Okay, so I'm removing that and I'll put that to one side. Now, this is broken. Right at the top here, this little elbow, missing completely from this side. I'm running my finger across this top gear here just to make sure the gears are okay. They feel fine. Problem is, I can't use this in the loco anymore, but that's okay because I just happen to have a spare. But as you'll notice, the wheels aren't darkened like these ones are, so the gears are the same size. This is just going to be literally a case of swap the wheels, I believe, into this bogie, and then what we can do is try it on the track, and hopefully, fingers crossed, there's no other issues with the loco. So the first thing I'm going to do is we'll start on the broken one here, because what we want to extract are the wheels. So the first way you pull apart and get to the bogie would be to remove this bogie frame. And I get a flat-headed screwdriver. There are other screwdrivers available. For some reason, someone did say to me in a comment, which is fair enough, you know, why don't you get yourself a proper set of screwdrivers? I actually do have, but this one is my go-to flat-headed. It's just, and it's not great, but it's a nice size. I've got some really expensive ones, but they're just a bit cumbersome, and I've got this thing here. So this came with like a 3D printer, and it's great. That fits most screws, like pretty much every screw. And it slides out the end to put in the other end, and you've got a flathead, which is also really good. And I've abused the heck out of this, and it just keeps going and going and going. In fact, that much so, I've actually used it almost like a crowbar. But that's why it's a bit bananaed. But it's character, isn't it? Anyway, let's go back to dismantling. I'm putting a flathead into this end of the bogie, and I'm turning, and I'm lifting, and it should click. It's quite positive click, that. Now, when you lift this up, there's going to be a spring behind the coupling, and it'll want to ping into your eyes. Be careful, cover it. You could even do this in a cup if you wanted to. I'm simply just levering up this end, whilst kind of cupping that with my hand. Did you hear it go ping? Well, there's our coupling, and get some tweezers. And if you haven't got yourself some tweezers, get yourself some. I'm yet to completely break my trusty old pair, so this will live just off screen in a safe pot. Right, so we've got this bogie frame. We're keeping that, so that's keep. All I'm going to do here is literally, I'm going to take the wheels out. So just get a good idea here. You could take photos or refer to this video, that's fine. I'm literally going to pop these out though. So a finger each side, is how I tend to do this, and then just pull it out. You just want to be careful of these pickups so that you don't stab yourself or bend them, and they're probably liable just to fall off now. There we go. So our wheels are free. At this point, because we're keeping these wheels, I'm going to just try and rotate the gear on the shaft, nothing. And this is just a check. This is a light check for a cracked gear. That bogie ran freely that we've just dismantled, so that shows to me that the gears are actually fine, they're okay. And you know, I'll keep a hold of these contacts, that's fine, but I'm not going to use them on the next bogie because they're already going to be on it. So we'll keep these. This can go in our little parts bin. And the gears, in fact the whole thing will, because I'm going to extract the gears. The gears will go into a bag of gears. Now, so what we're keeping here at the moment is our coupling with the spring off screen, the bogie frame, and these wheels. Now, what we have got is our donor. So they do various types of bogie frames, but the guts are the same, and hence also, I mean, this is exactly the same. So what I want to do, I'm going to do exactly the same as we did a minute ago, dismantling this, just like that. It sounded about the same. Cupping it so the spring don't go in your eye, just like that. Okay. So we're not interested in this, so that can go in our parts bin. Not literally a bin, it's like parts that I can go get if I need parts again. So I'm pulling the wheels out in the same fashion. And I know these aren't cracked gears as well because this is it feels good. So they're going to go in my parts bin. Now, I've just got to give this a bit of a clean up, but that whole thing is going to go in the loco. Now this is, you could pull this apart and fully clean it, whereas I know this works because it's basically come out of a working loco. And that's just grease, not grease, oil. So what you want to do is IPA clean everything. Now I'm just doing this because there are some contaminants that I wouldn't want getting into the loco mechanisms. So what I'm trying to do is basically get a good bogie, and then we'll test it on the track, and then that will show if there's any other issues. Because until this is really fixed, I can't really check the loco. There's not really a lot to this. It's quite in the loco, changing the bogie post. Right, what we're going to do is basically just swap the parts around, so we've got something that works. Now you can buy these bogie posts. I believe Farish and Spares do them. You could try out Peter's Spares as well. I just happen to have some kicking around that I can use. Lucky for me, it was actually like the whole thing. Right, so what we're going to do first is put a wheel in this end. So imagine this video at the moment really is just me showing you how to take things apart and put them back together, I guess. So this is gonna go in the end of this bogie here. You're listening for that click. Every time you put a wheel in, just give it a bit of a roll, and then you'll see if there's any resistance or it catches. If there is, you need to try and sort that problem out, because there will be something wrong, and that being wrong at this point wouldn't be great. I've only just clicked one side of that wheel in. Okay, and then that side should be in, he says. So it feels okay. And as I'm doing this, you notice on these sides, this side of the wheels, they're flat, and then on this side, well, that one's also kind of flat, but that one's got a bit of a shiny bit of metal. So I'm going to do the same with this one. Flat, shiny. Yeah, that middle wheel's a bit of an exception there. So I'm going to do this bit like in there like that. So I'm squashing these contacts together as I put the wheel in, but I'm not clicking the wheel in until the pickups are behind those rims, and I can confirm that. So I go click and she's in. Now again, just give it a bit of a rotation. Now this is, you know, oiled up still. Normally, I mean, what you can do is IPA clean the whole thing. I've said this a million times in all my videos. I'm not going to do that on here because I'm basically not doing that. I don't think it's needed. I've done quite a lot of locos, so that it's not that I know what I can get away with. It's just there's no point me cleaning certain things to then grease them back up. That's the way I see it. So what we need to do is just grab ourselves the spring that's just pinged away. Okay, so we've got a spring. I find laying it in like that is quite handy. And you'll see the coupling here. You have got to be very delicate. So it's just balance in there at this time. Now we'll grab our bogie post, which has got a nice gears in it and it runs okay, and the pickups are all behind the wheels, so that's good. Now it's gonna slot in, so you want to kind of go over and down. I'm not pushing it in just yet. What you want to do, this one's not that important, but some of the twin bogies are. These metal pickups can actually catch on the bogie frame, so when you push it down, it kind of can break or bend something. On this it's relatively safe, so we'll click that in, and we're going to just check that that moves okay, and it seems to be absolutely fine. Coupling works great. So what we're going to do, we get our chassis back. Hello chassis. And then this should slide in, but we're not going to screw it on just yet. I'm just I've left one side in and I'm putting this in and on, and I'm putting a bit of pressure there, and I'm going to rock it forwards and backwards. Now what I'm looking for are these contacts to not lift off this. So I'm going to give that one a bit of a tweak, and this one a bit of a tweak, so that when I push down here, the front does not lift off the pad, and the same at the back, which yeah, it's actually off that. Let's give it out a bit more. Okay, I'll do me. Grab our little L brackety bit. Look for our flathead screwdriver. And I wouldn't say that was how you change Bogie Post, but that's how you change Bogie Post. If you've got one that's already kind of filled with gears. I just thought it might be like a nice little short video to show you guys. I am doing stuff all the time, and there's a lot of the same thing. It's normally gears. So I just thought I'd show you that. What we're going to do though, we're going to go over to the track and just see what this is doing. And I don't know, let's fingers crossed it's alright. Okay guys, well, I think she works. Pretty good as well, actually. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to put some oil on the bearings that I can access. Now I've got, let's see if this will show, it's like a pen of oil with like a little syringe needle on the end. And basically what I want to do on the top, sorry about that, I just nudged the camera, on the top here, there's a bearing block just there. So that's got a bit of oil now. And I'm going to do the same the other end. I'm sorry about the focus if that's being a bit of a pain. And a bit on the gear. And a bit on... So a bit on the worm gears and a bit on the bearings. I'm not being overly zealous there. It's a fairly well put together loco and it looks pretty good, like clean and things. It runs alright. So I'm not going to run it full whack, I'm just going to run it lightly. So I don't flick all that oil everywhere, basically. Done that before. And just let it work its way around. I mean, to be honest, I think that's it. It just had a broken piece, and it wasn't like a running issue, which is refreshingly nice. So really, I think we just put the shell on and call it a day. Pretty much. Now, there is normally, yeah, I'm just trying to see this. In the shell, okay, so I've got the shell here, I'm just cheating a little bit. There is, let's just move the loco out of the way. Let's see if you can see this on the camera. Just inside, there are chamfered pieces in the corner there. The light's really bad, isn't it? There you go. You see him there? That bit there. It's not at the front. So what I'm going to do, on the chassis, there's this plastic piece goes along and stops, and that's where I'm going to put the chamfered piece, this end. So it is literally a case of turn her over and she's on. That's it. So there we go, guys. That's probably the shortest video I've ever done, isn't it? Runs really nicely. Oh dear. We've got a derailment. That's what happens when you don't change the point. Silly boy. Wheels back on there. Well, let's give it a run around the track, but I think that's it. So I'm hoping maybe if you're a bit unsure about, you know, changing the Bogie Post, or even what a Bogie Post is, that's what the Bogie Post was. If you want to know anything specifically about a pool type class 47, 37, anything really, anything, just give me a shout. I haven't got every single piece, but my collection's getting larger each day, so that's good. But that just gives me enough, a wide fountain of knowledge to help you guys out. So at this point, I will also say, I've had quite a few requests for certain videos and things, and I haven't forgotten them. It's just there's a lot going on behind the scenes. and videos will slowly start coming out here, there, and everywhere. But also, I fix a lot of trains, so it's also and full-time jobs. It's just hard getting everything together. But there's a chap, Tony, from the Heritage Line over on YouTube. He's been requesting a few things, and well, not requesting, but hey, wouldn't this be cool? And I totally agree. I think there was one video that got my attention there, and he was saying about, oh, can you do a video comparison on, like diesels or something like that? And yeah, I think I can. I've got Dappols and Graham Farishes, and it might even be a 47 actually, or not. I haven't got one of those in Dapple. I'll have a bit more of a think on it, but I can show you similar chassis. So there's sort of like favourites of mine, and there's normally a reason for it with how they're built. So enough of me yabbing on. Let's have a look at this thing going around the track, shall we? Let's set her off. Choo choo.